Well, just a few days ago, Trump came up and announced his next successor to Jeremy Powell. Well, most of us expected Kevin Hassett. However, maybe the names got engaged to each other. He came up announcing a name known as Kevin Wash. You should try to understand that one of the main factors gold was triggered to fall down one or the other to drop. I don't believe that was the main factor why gold came up to be dropping one or the other, because Trump came up and announced someone to replace Jeremy. In one way, one or the other, it's a yes and it's a no. But to me, it's a big no, one or the other. That's not the factor to impress me, to show me why gold side down one or the other. If you have been trading, if you know, maybe you once traded, maybe let's say if you're a trader, you trade, let's say, like gold one or the other, we all understand what's consolidation one or the other. I just need you to look for at the past 20 days. I'm sorry, at the past 10 days, from 20th Jan. That's when, actually from 18th Jan, when Trump threatened to be making Greenland a 51 state. The outrageous war between Trump and his allies. Trust me, we have to understand the factors why gold rose up to almost from 4,000, from 4,600 to 5,500 in just 10 days. That's sharp growth in one or the other. We should also try to understand is what they call consolidation. That means buyers who bought when it was around 4,600 and sold 5,500, they had maybe to buy out one or the other. There's also what they call consolidation to rebalance the shuffle one or the other in trade. That's into like technical analysis one or the other. To me, one of the factors why gold went down, we should try to understand what are Trump's intentions. Is Trump intending to make gold fall off one or the other? Because people are claiming that Trump made gold fall off one or the other. Everything came out one or the other. But we also try to understand what happened in the last 10 days, okay? In the last 10 days, let's say from 18th Jan to 28th Jan, we should try to understand what happened in the first place. We should try to understand that we had the Battle of Greenland, Trump and his allies. Well, we had Trump confiscating the Venezuela president Maduro from Venezuela to the US, maybe to come out to speak about his cases that are taking place. We should also come over and speak about Trump on Canada, threatening Canada 50% tariffs. All these ventures. Today Trump almost has no allies, one or the other. In fact, his ally would be Russia. I'm just saying out of the blue. One of the main factors that personally I don't believe in is saying that Trump came up and announced his successor of the new phase chair or the successor to Jeremy Powell. In my one way, I would say that's a big no. One, you should also try to understand that in these last 10 days, countries like Germany came out and started claiming almost 113 billion euros of gold from New York. All this triggered like the lack of trust in the US. Today, as I speak, I think the German Chancellor warned his citizens from visiting the US, one or the other, saying that it's dangerous. As such an ideology between allies, the division that's raising over and over, trust me, that's all gonna trigger gold prices to be going high. We should also try to understand that the progression of the peace talks between Ukraine and Russia. Remember, when there's always an end of war, one or the other, when you see there's an end of war or an implication to end a war, well, that can also trigger gold prices, because peace talks within Russia and Ukraine have been always propaganda. When Russia tries, when Trump tries to make peace talks, Europe tends to be denouncing them one or the other. But we should also try to understand, me as a main factor that I see that triggered gold wanted to be bashing back, that would be the Ukraine-Russia talks. And that's not even in the news. Everybody's looking at Trump announcing the next Fed chair. We should also try to understand, regardless the goals Kevin Wash is having for the Federal Reserve, he says he will be also keeping the independence of the president. But trust me, the moment you tie yourself to the White House, that means you're getting orders from the White House. And secondly, he's just only one person. He cannot change the president's ideology or how they read data, because Trump wants to see a 1% interest rates. He wants to see interest rates falling down one or the other. The moment you tie yourself with the White House, that means you're under the White House. Every order you take it through the White House. Whatever you got to pass pass to the ODS or to the Fed's fund rate must go through the White House. That's the true meaning of that. Don't look at any other kind of ideology or whatever they're pushing, that we will have to keep that Fed's independence. We also have to look into that. The moment someone tells you, because trust me, Trump, what he wants it one or the other. I don't mind you're a Democrat or Republican or independent. I'm just giving you here actual facts. I'm not here to tell you anything that Kevin Hart's going to be better than Jeremy Powell. None of them. And we are looking at the wrong people, actually. The biggest thing anyone should be demanding right now should be ways of countering the U.S. debt. One of the major factors why gold is going high and high, one, is the overspending the government is doing. Two, it should be the lack of trust in the fiat currency that's raising over and over. Three, it should be the hedging inflation. Has inflation ended? Did we see inflation ending that in one or the other? Trust me, there's what they call correction in data in one or the other. God had a sharp run. That means had to do correction in one or the other. That's in technical analysis, should be understood. Okay, any sharp run that comes to a raise, you should always try to understand that there should always be a correction one or the other, and that correction was kind of huge. Regardless, we should say that gold, there's a way power. Yeah, there were big traders, there are big institutes that are trading gold that had to cash out one or the other. There was a need for liquidity one or the other. We should also try to understand that it's such a sharp run means one or two things. There's always going to be a correction. We are ready to see what's going to be happening this week, or maybe it's more sharp selling, a sharp selling one or the other. But we should also try to understand what are Trump intentions. Are Trump intentions going to make gold to be going down and the dollar be having the value? Yes. After announcing that, well, the dollar gained a 1% strength in one or the other. However, the bonds stay down. In fact, today, foreign treasury holders are dumping treasuries one or the other. If you look at Japan, if you look at Europe, if you look at last week, the way Europeans were dumping U.S. treasuries, that also triggered the gold to be going sharper and sharper and sharper one or the other. If anything goes sharper, it has to consolidate one or the other. If gold prices go, let's say, around 5,000, they're not going to start 5,000. At least it must come back to 4,500, 4,800, something like that. And that's the same thing happened. However, this happened in a huge way. But saying that Trump announced Kevin Hassett, that changed, that triggered the gold prices, no, that's a big no for me. That's a big no. It has nothing to do with it, because we should all try to understand whatever Trump is looking forward for the U.S. economy is going to be causing inflation. Today, he's not looking at the U.S. debt. He's not looking at solution of solving the U.S. debt. Whatever he's implying is maybe to borrow more, so that there's an ideology that says that you can borrow yourself more out of debt, which is kind of a crazy idea. You can inject money in the economy so that the economy can pay off its debt, which is insane. You're having an interest rate, you're having a servicing interest of almost $1 trillion that you just did in a fiscal year of 2025, and you're hoping to be injecting more money in the economy. That's going to be crazy inflation. Hopefully, if there's productivity, maybe. But in the long run, within the next 10 years, inflation is going to be insane. In fact, also in the Trump administration, just alone, it's going to be crazy inflation. Because if you have a 1% interest rate in the US, that's going to make inflation go insane. Like, seriously insane. We should all try to understand it. The moment you trigger stimulus into the economy, it's going to become inflationary. And if you lack productivity, and when we're making a stimulus not really impactful, it's useless at the end of the day. Let's look at Trump's goals. Well, he needs a weak dollar, okay? He needs a weak dollar to make exports to be competitive at other countries, one or the other, exports to be competitive one or the other. But however, these exports are also finding tariffs in those countries, because the tariffs Trump is injecting on such countries, they are almost double to his goods that he's sending to Europe and other nations one or the other. Well, Trump's ideology, he needs a Fed chair who's going to be doing what he says and need the 1% interest. And that's also inflation one or the other. That means the Fed's going to be losing trust one or the other, because it's long independent. Imagine when all policies have to go through a political leader one or the other because of their own interests one or the other. Who would still trust the dollar one or the other? Who would still trust the U.S. treasuries one or the other? All this is kind of inflationary. And all this indicates one or the other. Gold with the Marx family being bought because people will see gold as a safe haven or real money in one or the other. Because today, US treasuries were rated by Moody from a triple A to a double A. Very soon it's going to be a single A. That will mean it's no longer safe haven at all. Because today allies are dumping US treasuries. There's no way you're lying to me that after Kevin Walsh was directed as a new leader of the next leader to replace Jeremy, that he impacted that kind of a solo. No. Just look at the past 10 days. What has been happening in the past 10 days? The past 10 days indicated one or two things. Just because all YouTubers say Trump he brought the price of the gold and silver to be going low. This is what they call consolidation. The way these metals have been running fast is insane. It's what they call consolidation. That means realignment one or the other. There are people who bought before and they have to sell right today. They feel like that's enough for them. They have to rebuy when it's lower again. And it's high chances maybe for others to buy when it's kind of a better price. Because believe it or not, it's gonna sharpen back very soon. Because as long as the US debt is gonna be raising more, very soon it's gonna be $39 trillion. Within maybe the next few months, it will be 40. By the end of the year, expect it to be around at least 45. The other 45 trillion US dollars. Very soon, I'm saying. So very soon, by the end of the 2026. If all factors don't show you that gold is just consolidating, getting ready for another high, and someone has time to lie to you after Trump announcing his new leader, that triggered gold. Rather, look at the factors that make gold to be going high and factors that lead gold to be going down. Either there's a pit stop one or the other, or there's a consolidation. Whenever there's a sharp run, there's always a consolidation, because gold doesn't go just straight up like this. It must always go but it had a sharp run in the last 6 to 7 days, and those are the few factors that YouTubers are not saying about. Otherwise, if you find such content, please consider liking and subscribing. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.